Well, every time we look up, we see planet Earth's moon. Our moon, right? But what if? What if aliens have a base up there? Now, this may sound crazy, but there's potentially been found an actual house on Mars with the Chinese rover right now. But how crazy is this? Well, ancient cultures have been predicting, maybe predicting is the wrong word, but they've been, using scribing tools and writing down tools to draw pictures of space-bearing creatures coming down from the skies to Earth thousands of years ago. I mean, this is well documented. Space people, sky people, they've been referred to. And just recently, a couple of years ago, or last year, whatever it was, the American government even admitted that there are things flying over us every day all around the world, and even in the ocean area, that the American government can't describe what it is. They have no idea. And they've admitted to this. Wow. Hang on. Wow. The more you know. So I really want to talk about this today. So like we said, there's this Chinese rover on our moon right now, and it's discovered what they think to be a house in the distance. Look at this thing. I don't know what you think about this, but it looks interesting. It looks like it's worth an actual visit. So this is what actually happened. China's lunar rover spies mystery house on the far side of the moon. Talking from one of the websites today from this one. All right. Now I also want to talk about the air that's on the moon, because a lot of people didn't know, including myself before this video, but there is more oxygen on our moon than we know what to do with. If I was to go and live on the moon right now, I could live up there for thousands of years breathing oxygen. Wow! Now there's a bit of a clause in the contract because I can't quite just breathe it because it doesn't exist, but it does exist in the dirt. So I want to talk all about this today. If that sounds fun, come join us every single day. All right, let's have some fun. But let's quickly talk about this. We have an update for the Chinese rover. Every time I do that, it goes away. Hang on.
Yaotu 2.
So the Chinese rover is called Yaotu 2. Sounds like something you'd say in Star Wars universe. Yaotu 2. Now on the lunar far side, including an image of a cubic shape on the northern horizon. 80 meters away from the rover, it is referred to as a mystery house. Now the next 2 to 3 lunar days will be spent getting closer to check out this object. Now my first and foremost, my first question is, they've got $1 billion rover up there from China. They're 80 meters away. Why does this picture look like that from 80 meters away? What are they sending up there? A mobile phone camera from 2013? 2003, I probably should have said. That would have been a harder joke, right? Hang on, 1 second, where is it? Didn't quite work out, that one, did it? But hey, what kind of camera are they taking up there? That's what I want to know. So this is the picture right here. Hang on, let me show you a quick update. Okay, right here. So this is the update, and you may be a little disappointed. So yeah, it's not an obelisk or an aliens, but certainly something to check out. And hard to discern much from the image, but large boulders, right? And there you go. It just seems to be large boulders. It's checked it out. It's gone closer. That's the update. But are they hiding something from us? I'm going to wear my tinfoil hat for a second, because are they hiding something from us? How do you get that from that? I don't know. So it makes you wonder, if there are aliens visiting us, planet Earth, then yes, it would make sense for them to have some sort of a base on the moon. It's the closest thing to Earth. It's constantly going around Earth. Interesting. They would be underneath. They would be physically underneath inside the moon if they were here on Earth and the moon. Right? It would just make sense. But I also saw this and I thought that was really, really funny. Just a matter of time before they build one of these. I'm loving it. McDonald's, Macca's, I'm loving it. No, I'm not. But that's the sad reality. I'm not. Now, hang on just a second. If we were to live and actually have houses, or whatever you want to call it, a house, an underground bunker on Earth or Mars, right? Well, sorry, the moon or Mars. Going to the moon for a second here. This is interesting. We could turn lunar dirt, ash, soot, rock, whatever you want to call it, we could turn that into oxygen. But when I read this to you right now, you're going to be absolutely shocked because expert, right? Moon's rock layer holds enough oxygen to sustain 8 billion people for 100,000 freaking years. I mean, wow. How is this possible? This is incredible. First and foremost, how do they know this information? And second of all, if this is true, then, I mean, there's no limit to what humanity can do up in space. I mean, we could have a permanent fixture on the moon. There's no stopping us. Obviously, we wouldn't need to rely on that much oxygen for that long anyway. We could build our own oxygen. We could have, domes filled with rainforests producing oxygen for us up there, right? Interesting. So, quick little read from this. And, wow, I mean, when I first read this, I was kind of shocked, right? Apparently, Lismore, New South Wales. So, go, Australia. Woohoo, everybody. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. So, with every step forward, NASA is pushing towards a future that holds a long-term human presence on the moon. But is it sustainable? Well, an expert in soil science from Southern Cross University, Australia, thinks so. A lecturer called John Grant says that the moon's top layer alone holds enough oxygen to sustain Earth's current population for 100,000 years. So currently, as we speak, with Earth having billions of people on Earth, we could have them on the moon for 100,000 years breathing the oxygen that's in the soil. That is so crazy. Not too sure what's just happened with my webpage, but anyway, that is so crazy. So since the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, life for us oxygen-dependent mammals wouldn't come in a form natural to Earth. Why does my computer keep doing that? I have no idea. I'm trying to read something here, guys. But instead, scientists with NASA and the European Space Agency say that we need to look to the regolith. How do we pronounce this one? Quickly pronounce that one for us.
Regolith.
Regolith. That was close enough. So basically rock and fine dust that makes up the lunar surface. So being able to acquire oxygen from resources found on the moon would obviously be, hugely useful for future lunar settlers, both for breathing and in the local production of rocket fuel. You can basically get rocket fuel from the actual lunar surface, the dust, the rock, right? Okay, said Beth at the University of Glasgow. Anyway, now by weight, the moon's regolith contains about 45% oxygen, which is bound to the minerals that make it up. Now, to break the bond between the oxygen and the minerals, Grant says will take a lot of energy and equipment to do just that. We're getting more and more smart every day. I don't doubt them. I don't doubt them at all. So that's where the ESA comes in. British engineers are working on a process that will be used in the future to complete such extractions from oxygen from lunar dust. Now they even say what's left over from the process could be 3D printed into construction materials needed for a moon base. This is awesome. Elon Musk has shown us diagrams many times with his SpaceX company showing how he and his company could have a permanent settlement, not just on the moon, right, but on Mars. This is interesting stuff, using the actual material that's there on the planet that you go to make the houses. I mean, obviously, you can't drag a bunch of timber and steel from Earth and take it to the Mars or the moon, can you? I mean, you've got to use what's there and utilize it as best as you can to your ability, right? So here you go, read this. It could be an early step towards establishing an extraterrestrial oxygen extraction plant. This would help to enable exploration and sustain life on the moon while avoiding the enormous cost of sending materials from Earth. Obviously, as we've said. So according to Grant, humans need to breathe about 800 grams of oxygen daily to survive. What a breath of fresh air that is, huh? Now, if you break that down and then work based on the assumption that the moon's oxygen-rich rock layer is about 10 meters down, then you arrive to a supply large enough to sustain life, at least temporarily. But that temporarily situation is, well, not very temporary at all, really, is it? That means that top 10 meters of the moon's surface would provide enough oxygen to support all 8 billion people on Earth for somewhere around 100,000 years. Now, this is interesting. Don't pack your bags just yet. Obviously, the technology's not there. We're not there yet at the moment. But, it's so amazing that we've got scientists working on these things. We've got, very smart people in the know, in these fields, working to discover these amazing pieces of information that, future humans, not too distant future humans, I might add, will be taking advantage of that information and using it for our benefit, right? This is crazy. Now, there are, Mars boot camps kind of thing, where if you really want to go to Mars, you can do tests on Earth in an actual Mars simulated environment, right? On a, fake spaceship, and for like 6 months, like kind of thing, where you can be on this, pretend Mars spaceship for 6 months, and, people that have done really good physically and, of course, number one, mentally, those kind of people will be ultimately the ones that are chosen to go to these places in the future. Could you survive mentally, first and foremost, mentally up there in a small place? Let me know. I really want to hear your suggestions. I don't think I could. Especially me, I'm like 6'8" tall. I'm very tall. So I think I'd be very claustrophobic after a while, but it is interesting. What do you guys think about this technology? Let me know in the comments down below. We're on channel 2, channel 1, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at TallBoyGareth. Videos every single day. I love you. Bye.